What's up guys, it's Bailey from ECD Lax and welcome to our healthy pregame nutritional video. Today we're going to taste test two different items that company sent me to try for this video as healthy alternatives, and then we're going to have people in the office taste test the Poppies and see if they can guess which flavor it is. And then we're going to go to the real facts and I'm going to interview Molly Murphy, the Director of Sports Nutrition at Towson University. So, a lot to get into, let's get into it. First up, we have these That's It energy bars. They're like a really tiny snack that's caffeine. This one is organic pineapple, organic coconut, organic caffeine from coffee, sea salt. That's literally it. We have the pineapple, there's a bunch of different flavors. Tropical passion, a lot of like fruit blends, mango lime. This is a double espresso. So this has 2 total shots of espresso in it versus these only have 1 shot of espresso. Okay, let's go in for the pina colada first. It looks a little weird. It's a weird consistency. It's kind of like gritty, but I think it's the pineapple in it. I mean the coconut. It's not my favorite thing in the world, like taste-wise, but I like that it's so tiny and it's an entire shot of espresso and it's clean. I would rate this like a 7 out of 10. This is no sugar added. Let's see the ingredients of this one. Organic dates. I heard dates are good for you. Organic coffee, sea salt, organic caffeine. 2 shots of espresso. This one seems more dense. Okay, I like this one better. This one tastes just like a protein bar, but like coffee flavored protein bar. This one's not bad. I don't hate this one. Okay, I would rate this one, I would go an 8 out of 10. This was not bad. Especially if I want like a snack, but that's gonna give me energy, like before a practice or something, I would go for this. Oh, get this in.
I see what you mean by the consistency. It's weird. I've heard a lot of things about these. For an organic thing, this actually isn't that bad. Like, I would definitely eat these. It's not like amazing, like this isn't like eating candy, but for an all organic caffeine supplement before a game, it's pretty good. I give it a 6.5.
Okay, now onto the Poppies. I'm really excited. I've heard a lot of good things about Poppy. Just looking at like kind of the benefits, it says no fake stuff, prebiotics for your gut, infused with apple cider vinegar, ingredients, sparkling water, organic cane syrup, organic apple cider, pretty clean ingredients, lots of different flavors. Okay, I picked the 3 that I really wanted to try because I'm not gonna taste test all of them because that would take way too long. But I'm gonna taste test these 3 and give my opinion. Okay, first up we have Wild Berry. Smells like a blueberry Red Bull. I really like that. That's really good. That tastes like a blueberry Red Bull. I don't want to jump off with a 10 out of 10 from the first one, but 10 out of 10. Okay, cherry cola. Wow, what? That tastes like cherry Coke, actually, like exactly like it. Doc Pop. It's supposed to be like Dr. Pepper, allegedly. Okay, I don't like that one. Like this tastes like, in not a bad way, it tastes like if you had a cherry Coke with ice and then you let it sit and water down and get flat. That's what it tastes like. Wait, give me the camera.
It's citrusy, so it's either this or this. I taste lime, so it's probably this one.
Wow.
That was actually really good. Like I would actually enjoy drinking that if it was cold and it was like a warm game day.
It's orange cream.
You didn't even look at the options.
I saw it when I walked in and it smells like a creamsicle.
Give it back when you're done.
Strawberry lemon.
Nope, open your eyes.
Lemon lime.
Nope.
What? Ginger lime?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay, one more.
I feel like it was wild berry.
Wow, you're so good at this. Just can't see that.
Strawberry lemon.
You were right.
You know how I know that?
How?
Because there was one out there and I literally just drank a strawberry lemon.
And that is it for this part of the video. Now time for the actual educational part where I'm gonna go interview Molly Murphy, the head of sports nutrition at Towson University. Let's get into it. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, hi, I'm Molly Murphy. I am a sports dietitian and I am the director of sports nutrition at Towson University.
Perfect. Okay, first question. What would you recommend for any pre and post workout meal or snack?
Good question. So pre-workout, what we're going to want to look for in a snack is something that's that simple, quick digesting carbohydrate. So something like applesauce, bananas, fruit really in any form, fruit snacks or gummies, something a little salty like pretzels or crackers, especially if you're a heavy sweater, or even like oatmeal, overnight oats, if you have a little bit more time to digest your snack before going into practice, or like an oat bar, Quaker Chewy bar, a Bobo's bar. What we don't want pre-practice or pre-competition is a protein-heavy snack, so like a protein bar or a protein shake, because really our bodies are looking to use carbs, not protein, as we go into our exercise. And then post-workout, that is when you can add that protein in along with your refuel carbs. So that could look like a snack being like chocolate milk and fruit, or a Greek yogurt with granola and berries, a protein shake or protein bar in this case, but paired still with a carb like a Chex Mix or a pretzel, a fig bar. And then if you have more time for like a post-training meal, that's when you'd want a starchy carb as the base, like pasta, potatoes, rice, whole grain bread, and a sandwich, and then paired with a protein like chicken, turkey, fish, beans, eggs, anything like that. So you have a good combo of protein and carbs in your post-workout. And that's also a really good time to include anti-inflammatory fruits and vegetables, which are packed with fiber and micronutrients and also help to promote recovery.
Perfect. That was so informative. I love that. Okay, what are some things or specific ingredients to look for in healthy kind of everyday snacks?
Yeah, I mean, many types of snacks can be healthy, and the type of snack we're looking for can depend on when that snack is fitting into your day. So before training, for example, a snack with added sugars like a fig bar or a Rice Krispie treat is actually going to be a tool that provides you that energy for training and exercise. But then later in the day, when you're in like kind of recovery mode, those added sugars aren't necessary for what your body's working on in that moment. And we are better off getting our recovery carbs and just our snacks in general with less added sugars, getting carbs more from starchy sources like crackers or toast, fresh or dried fruit, rather than those added sugar snacks. But then just kind of more broadly, another way to think about healthy snacking is to think about like, was this food alive in a similar state to I have it in front of me now? So like fruit in any form, vegetables, nuts and seeds, oats, popcorn, those aren't too far off from the state that they were in when they were harvested as a plant, as opposed to, a Cheez-It, where those can still be a snack before training. But like a Cheez-It, you don't know when looking at a Cheez-It what that Cheez-It's made of. You'd have to kind of read the fine print to figure out what those ingredients are. So if you can look it up and down with your eyes and kind of know what it is, that's a good indication that it's minimally processed and going to be a little bit more healthy than something that is unidentifiable until you read the ingredient label.
Perfect. Okay, next up, how important is meal timing to performance and recovery?
Another really good question. Meal timing, super key for performance. Ideally, an athlete wants to be fueled between 1 and 4 hours pre-practice or competition with a meal that's containing, all three big macronutrients, carbs, proteins, and fats, but specifically focused on carbohydrates. And the actual number of carbs in that meal depends on both the timing in that 1 to 4 hour window and also the athlete's individual body size. And that is something that a sports dietitian can help fine tune for an athlete. But in general, focus on carbs. And then topping up the tank again about 30 to 60 minutes before practice or competition with 30 to 60 grams of carbs. And that's when we're thinking those quick carbs, easily digestible. And that makes sure there's enough glucose for your body to use as fuel all throughout your training. And if we're talking into like long distance endurance exercise, there might be a need for intra workout carbs. So eating a carb while you're in the middle of your training. But often that's only like a 90-minute plus workout of endurance exercise. So most student athletes that I work with don't need to worry about that unless they're feeling particularly fatigued that day. And then in terms of recovery, timing is still important, but less so than for performance. Research is recently showing that timing isn't as critical as we once thought it to be. There used to be this, 2-hour window. You have to get your recovery food in within that 2 hours of finishing training, or it's useless. And that's really not true. We kind of know now that the state that your body's in, where it's growing and really receptive to protein and carb intake to build muscle and recover, that window actually lasts 24 plus hours after you finish your training. So of course we want to eat after we train. Our tank is empty and we want to be refueling, but there's no like ticking clock that cuts off the time at which a meal is helpful for recovery. It's really more about getting in your protein spread all throughout your day, making sure your fueling is a consistent thing all day and you're getting in your needs, but there's not like one specific window in the same way we think of for pre-workout.
Perfect. Very nice. Okay. And last question, what are the best sources of protein for muscle recovery that you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, our body uses all the amino acids that are in all the different sources of protein, but there's one specific one called leucine that is the most critical for muscle protein synthesis and recovery to build muscle. When our body can't make that on ourselves, we need to get it from food. So we want to be focusing on leucine intake after for recovery and muscle growth. But basically consuming 20 to 40 grams of any high quality protein is going to hit that threshold of the amount of leucine that we want. So particularly good sources are like meat, fish, dairy, eggs, legumes, nuts and seeds, all the major proteins you might think of. So basically, if you are having that recovery meal that has a good amount of protein mixed with your carbs, you're going to hit that threshold naturally. There's no specific type of food or anything like that that's better than another if we're just getting those high quality protein sources. But I will say whey is another one that's really good and often one that athletes reach for. Whey comes from dairy, but it's often in like a supplemental form. They'll throw it in a protein shake or smoothie. And as long as we're making sure we're paying attention to our regulations, whether you're an NCAA athlete, a pro athlete, or maybe you don't have regulations, it's still good to have a third-party tested supplement that is falling under those regulations by your sport governing body. But as long as you're doing your third-party testing for sport, a whey protein supplement is a really great way to get in that leucine and meet your protein goals. You do just want to be making sure you're still getting a diversified sources of protein throughout your day and not just using whey supplements to meet your protein goals.
And that is it for today's video. Big thank you to Miss Molly for being a part of this video and answering my questions. Make sure to leave a comment with any questions you might have. Thanks for watching and have a great day.